So, yeah, heard about that game that everyone's playing? Old School RuneScape, maybe? Any kind of RuneScape? Well, it's a fun game. It's a very grindy game, but if you were ever interested in playing, this is going to be the tutorial for you. In this series, my goal is to show you that in free-to-play Old School RuneScape, there are actually things that you can do, and you can actually get a kind of high-level account and start to understand how you can level up some skills and get certain items while being free-to-play. It's possible. I know you might think I'm crazy because why would you want to play a game that has a free-to-play option with very limited things that you can do when you could also just buy membership and get access to absolutely everything? But not everyone can afford membership. So if you've ever been interested in playing, this is going to be the information that you need to get going. If you're new here, hi, my name is Joss, and sometimes I play RuneScape, and sometimes I play other games, and sometimes I stream, and I'm just trying to find a good flow to kind of meet all of my hobbies and get everything done that I want to do. So welcome to the channel. This is the beginning of a new series that I'm starting to help you understand RuneScape. And I'm going to give you tips and tricks and things to do and things not to do, and eventually maybe you'll want to get a membership, or somewhere down the line you'll be able to afford it more. So let's get right into it. Welcome to the tutorial island. This is where you'll come once you have first created your RuneScape account, and it kind of just gives you a little bit of a walkthrough on how to do certain skills. You can fully design your character, and then you will also be given the option on if you would like to create a little bit more advanced of an account. You can create a normal account, which a lot of people you'll hear abbreviate as normies, meaning you have access to absolutely everything for the most part. Obviously, being on a free-to-play account, you are more limited on what you have access to, but for the most part, you can go to the GE, you can buy and sell items from it, and later in the series, we'll get a little bit more into acronyms and what they mean and where you can find certain things. So GE, when I'm referencing it, is the Grand Exchange. That is where a normie can buy and sell all of their items, and it's just a lot easier. I'm going to speed wipe this for you so that you don't have to sit here and watch me create my character, because I'm picky and I am indecisive, and it's probably going to take me like an hour to do. So, whoa, okay, welcome back. We've created our character, and I think I'm pretty happy with everything. Just so you know, whatever you ended up choosing for your character, clothing-wise, color-wise, all of that, it is a free-to-play option, as well as a member option, to change it at some point down the road also. So whatever you pick, you do not have to be fully committed to for the rest of your account. You can go in, and I, at some point, will most likely go through the steps to how you can change that. So now on to the next question. How familiar are you with Old School RuneScape? I have been playing Old School RuneScape, not consecutively, but for a very long time. I have a lot of experience with the game, but just for the preface of this being a guide where it is your very first time playing and you really don't know much about the game, I'm going to select I'm brand new. This is my first time here. So it gives me an arrow. It wants me to talk to the Gilnor guide. I'm going to click that in my chat box. It says, "Greetings, I see you're a new arrival of the world of Gilnor. My job is to welcome all new visitors, so welcome. And congratulations, you know, you're here." Sometimes it can be hard taking the first step to trying out a new game when, you know, for me, like Stardew Valley, that's one of the games, or Dave the Diver, where, you know, like, you could be so into certain games and it's very scary sometimes to break into a new game that's already been established for so many years. And you're like, you know, you feel like you won't be able to learn everything, but my boy Gilnor Guide will help us along the way. And yeah, he'll show us everything we need to do along with me. You have already learned the first thing needed to succeed in this world, which is talking to other people. You will find many inhabitants of this world have useful things to say to you. By clicking on them, you can talk to them. Now then, let's start looking at your settings menu. So now it's wanting me to navigate over my settings menu. It says, please click on the flashing spanner icon found at the bottom right of your screen. This will display your settings menu. It's going to be right here. Next, it automatically changes to the next thing that it wants you to do. It says on the side panel, you can now see a variety of game settings. Click the All Settings button to see all available settings. Talk to the Gilnor guide to continue. So yeah, basically all right here. He might actually explain it. Looks like you're making good progress. The menu you've just opened is one of many. You'll learn about the rest as you progress through the tutorial. Anyway, I'd say it's time for you to go and meet your first instructor. I would say for the control settings, you can just keep everything as to what it defaults to. You really don't have to worry about any of that right now. Obviously, you have your audio settings. If you're not vibing with the music, you can literally just go and mute all of these. Or if you want to listen to the music, you just click on all of them. You can adjust them as needed. Your display settings, you can control how bright or dim the world is. And then this one down here, it says click here to disable zooming using the mouse scroll wheel. Personally, I love this. I love controlling the camera with my mouse. It's honestly, I mean, I would rather do that than using my arrow keys because, you know, the mouse is already in your hand. Like you could literally almost just play this game on a mouse and like, I mean, you need a keyboard, but yeah. There's also different kinds of layouts that you can select. The fixed classic layout is significantly smaller. It's very small, but some people who are old-time players of this game, this is what it looked like, and you really had no other way to resize it. So they are just very much creatures of comfort, and they would prefer to just stay on this. Resizable classic layout gives you basically the same layout that we just saw, just in a more expanded form. And then the modern layout, this is the one that I prefer personally. It just gives you same thing, full screen layout, but you have all of the setting options, which we have not unlocked yet, but they will all just show up right here. So now we're gonna go through and meet our next instructor. So we're gonna open the door over here. And I'm going to talk to the survival expert. So just talk to the survival expert. She says, hello there, newcomer. My name is Brenna. My job is to teach you about the skills you can use to survive in this world. The first skill we're going to look at is fishing. There's some shrimp in this pond here. Let's try and catch some. She gives a small fishing net to you. And it says you've been given an item. To view the item you've been given, you'll need to open your inventory. To do so, click on the flashing backpack icon to the right-hand side of your screen. Inventory is right here. If you right click an item in your inventory, it will give you some more information about the item. You can use it, drop it, examine it, or cancel. You can left click to use it also. And I can see the next flashing icon right here shows a fishing spot for shrimp. So I click on the small fishing net and then click on the bubbles that are in the pond. And my player automatically fishes for me. There's nothing that I have to do. But now I can see, look at that. Congratulations, you just caught your first little shrimp. So I've got some raw shrimp in my inventory. And back in the text box over here, it says you managed to catch some shrimp. You've gained some experience. Click on the fishing bar icon near the inventory button to see your skills menu. So right down here, 2 over from the backpack icon, you have skills. And all of your skills are going to be at 1 with exception of the HP, your hit points. They default to 10 when you make your new account. But fishing is right here. It's in the 3rd column, 4th row, and you can see fishing XP is at 10, your next level is at 83, and your remaining XP is 73. So basically what that means is your next level of fishing will be at 83 XP. I have so far only fished to 10 XP, and I have 73 XP left to get to that 83, which will put me then at level 2. But now I am going to talk to the survival expert again, letting her know that I've managed to catch some shrimp. And she says, excellent work. Next, you're going to want to cook the shrimp. To do that, you'll need a fire. This brings us on to the next skill, wood cutting and fire making. So the survival expert gives you a bronze axe and a tinder box. For wood cutting, it's time to cook your shrimp. However, you require a fire to do so. That means that you need some logs. You can cut down trees using your wood cutting skill, and all you need is an axe. You don't have to have the axe wielded in your hand to use it. You can just leave it in your inventory. But I am going to walk over here to the next yellow arrow to chop down a tree. and it's gonna automatically cut for me. And then I will see some logs and a tinderbox appear in my inventory. The chat box says you've managed to cut some logs, and now that you have some logs, it's time to light the fire. First, click on the tinderbox in your inventory, then with the tinderbox highlighted, click on the logs to use the tinderbox on them. I'm gonna walk over here, click on my tinderbox, and then use it on the logs, and my player automatically lights the logs. Sometimes they don't light on the first try, but isn't that like real life as well? Now with my raw shrimp, I am going to practice cooking. I'm going to click on the shrimp in the inventory. Then with the shrimp highlighted, click on a fire to cook them. If you look at the top left of your screen, you'll see the instructions that you're giving to your character. So right up here, it says click the shrimp in your inventory to select them. Then click on the fire to begin cooking them. So I have my shrimp selected, and I'm going to click on the fire, and my person cooks them. And now I have cooked shrimp. I didn't burn them. You can burn food in this game. Well done, you've just cooked your first meal. Speak to the survival expert if you want to recap. Otherwise, you can move on. Click on the gate shown and follow the path. Remember, you can use your arrow keys to rotate the camera. Or you can click in your mouse button and also rotate. I guess if you don't have a mouse button that can click inwards, then I guess you will have to use the arrow keys. But for now, I am just using my mouse. I can left click on the gate to open it, and then it looks like I am going to be going down here to the master chef. Now, I don't have to just click on every single tile. I could just click on this door right here, and then my player will automatically walk or run to the area and open the door. So next, I'm going to talk to the master chef, and he says, welcome newcomer, I am the master chef, Lev. It is here that I will teach you how to cook food truly fit for a king. And I said, I already know how to cook. Brenna taught me just now. And then he says, ha 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 ha. You call that cooking? Some shrimp and an open log fire? Oh, no, 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 no. I'm going to teach you the fine art of cooking bread. The master chef gives you some flour and water. This is the base for many meals. To make dough, you must mix flour and water. To do so, click on the flour in your inventory. Then with the flour highlighted, click on the water to combine them into dough. You make some dough. So the dough automatically goes into your inventory as well. And now I just have an empty pot and an empty bucket, whereas before, those both had ingredients in them. Now they do not. All right, so you make some dough. Now you have made the dough. You can bake it into some bread. To do so, click on the indicated range. This range up here allows me to just click cook. And it says your character is now attempting to bake some bread. You managed to bake some bread. Well done, you've baked your first loaf of bread. As you gain experience in cooking, you will be able to make other things like pies and cakes. You can now use the next door to move on. If you need a recap on anything, talk to the master chef. I am going to click on the door on the opposite side of the kitchen area that's flashing. And then, let's see, it looks like while navigating the world, you can either run or walk. Running is faster, but you can't run for long as you'll soon run out of energy. You can use the flashing orb next to the mini-map to toggle running. Why not try it as you head on to the next section? Okay, so what they are talking about right now is it's actually flashing next to the mini-map. There's a little boot right here that's gold. If I click on it, while it's gold, it turns gray, which means that I will now be walking and not using any run energy. I'll wait till I stop. Now, if I click on the boot again, it turns gold, and you'll see as I start to run, my energy also goes down. So now I'm already down to 96, 97%. And it will just continue to go down the more and more you use it. Eventually, once it hits 0, it'll automatically default to making you walk, and you will have to wait for it to regenerate before you can run again. So I'm going to follow this red arrow that's on my mini map up here and click on this door. And next I'm going to talk to the quest guide. He says, welcome adventurer. I'm here to tell you about the quests. Let's start by opening your quest list. Click on the flashing icon to the left of your inventory. That's going to be right down here. This is your quest journal. It lists every quest in the game. Talk to the quest guide again for an exploration on how it works. So I'm going to talk to the quest guide. He says, now that you have your quest list open, you can see all of the quests within it. Opening a quest journal will provide you with more information on it. If you haven't started the quest, it will tell you where to begin and what requirements you need. If the quest is in progress, it will remind you of what to do next. It's very easy to find quest start points. Just look out for the quest icon on your minimap, and you should see one marking in this house. So you can see on the minimap, I can't zoom in too much more than that, but it's like a little blue star almost, like maybe like a 3D star kind of thing. The minimap in the top right corner of the screen has various icons to show different points of interest. Look for the icon to the left to find quest start points. The quests themselves can vary greatly from collecting beads to hunting down dragons. Completing quests will reward you with all sorts of things such as new areas and better weapons. There's not a lot more I can tell you about questing. You have to experience the thrill of it for yourself to fully understand. Let me know if you want to recap, otherwise you can move on. One thing I will note, so we have the tutorial quest, learning the ropes. If we click on that one, it kind of just gives us some information on what we've already done and then what we do next. And the other thing I want to highlight is there's your starter quests, free quests, and then members quests. As a free-to-play player, you will not have access to any of the members quests. Those are all pay-to-play. You cannot do them unless you have a paid membership. But with the series that I am making for you guys, we will be covering all of these free-to-play quests. So by the end of the series, you will have all of those quests completed. The next thing is you also have your general like player guide. So if you click on the character summary to the left of the quest list, you're given your name, your combat level, total XP, how many quests you've completed, how many achievements you've completed, how many combat tasks you've completed, and how many collection logs you have. I'm not going to click on the time played because the time played is also a security question for recovering your account should anything happen to it, which I hope it doesn't to me or any of you. But you can click on this and then it'll give you the amount of time that you have had your account. The third thing I want to cover is the achievement diaries. So in every city, there are achievement diaries. Artie, the Desert, Falador, Fremnik, Kandrin, Karamja, Korn and Kabos, Lumbridge and Draenor, Mortania, Varak, Western Provinces, and Wilderness. When you click on them, you have easy, medium, hard, and elite diaries. Next to each one in red text, it'll show you what you need to start or do that achievement task. And once you complete them all, or once you complete them individually, so you have your easy, medium, hard, elite, you get certain rewards that benefit you in the game from each one. So they're awesome. I love achievement diaries. They unlock a lot of really cool things for you. So definitely recommend doing them at any point. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the yellow arrow to the next area that I need to go to, and I'm going to climb down a ladder. Now it looks like I'm in a dungeon. So it says, now let's get you a weapon, or more to the point, you can make your first weapon yourself. Don't panic. The mining instructor will help you. Talk to him and he'll tell you all about it. And then talk to the mining instructor. He says, hi there, you must be new around here. So what do I call you? Newcomer seems to be interpersonal. And if we're going to be working together, I'd rather call you by your name. And then you say your name. And he says, okay then, my name is Dezik, and I'm a miner by trade. Let's teach you how to mine. Mining is very simple. All you need is a pickaxe. The rocks around here contain tin and copper. Why don't you get started by mining some? The instructor hands you a bronze pickaxe. It's quite simple really. To mine a rock, all you need to do is click on it. First up, try mining some tin. Now if you right click on the rocks over here, you'll see that these are all tin rocks. I'm gonna left click on that one. And my character is attempting to mine the rock. In my inventory, I have 1 tin ore. Now that I have some tin, I'm going to go get some copper. So just on the opposite side of me, these are all copper rocks. I'm going to left click on the copper. My character is attempting to mine, and I now have copper ore in my inventory. Now that I have some tin and copper, I can smelt them into a bronze bar. To do so, click on the indicated furnace. Furnace is over here, just left click it. And my character automatically makes my bronze bar. Next, I'm going to speak to the mining instructor again. And I tell him that I have a bronze bar. Now what? And he says, now that you have the bar, you can smith it into a weapon. To smith something, you need a hammer and an anvil. There's some anvils just here that you can use. See if you can make a bronze dagger. He hands me a hammer, and it says to smith, you'll need a hammer and enough metal bars to make a desired item, as well as a handy anvil. To start the process, click on the anvil and alternatively just use the bar on it. So the anvils are both right here. I am going to go the route of just using my bar on it. And it tells me I could make any of these things that are highlighted in green because they only require one bar, but I am only going to make the dagger. So click on the dagger. And it says, congratulations, you've made your first weapon. Now it's time to move on. Go through the gates shown by the arrow. Remember, you may need to move the camera to see your surroundings. Speak to the mining instructor for a recap at any time. I now have the bronze dagger in my inventory. So up at my mini map, I'm going to follow the red arrow and run probably out of the dungeon. Yep, through the gates. So just left click on the gates and then follow it around. So speak to this guy. You introduce yourself. He says, do I look like I care? To me, you're just another newcomer who thinks they're ready to fight. Jeez. Okay, chill. I'm Vanica, the greatest swordsman alive, and I'm here to teach you the basics of combat. Let's get started by teaching you to wield a weapon. So you now have access to a new interface. Click on the flashing icon of the man, the one to the right of your backpack icon. That's going to be right here. You're going to click on the view equipment stats. And it says you can now see what items you're wearing in the worn inventory to the left of the screen with the combined statistics on the right. Let's add something. Click your dagger to equip it. Click the dagger. And now something's changed on my attack bonus. So you're now holding a dagger. Clothes, armor, weapons, and more are equipped like this. Alternatively, you can click on the items directly from your inventory to equip them without opening the stats window. Speak to the combat instructor to continue. Talk to him again. He says, very good, but that little butter knife isn't going to protect you much. Let's get you something a bit better. Once you're properly equipped, we can move on to some actual combat. He gives you a bronze sword and a wooden shield. I'm just going to equip them straight from my inventory. So I click on the bronze sword and then my dagger immediately, since it was in the same hand, it just swaps place in the inventory. And then the wooden shield is going to be wielded in my left hand so that I can hold both at the same time. If I click on the swords icon right here on the menu, it explains that this is where your combat interface is. From here, you can select the attack style that you'll use in combat. Using different attack styles will give you different types of experience. As well as this, monsters are weak to specific melee attacks. Click on the gates to continue. So if you hover over any of these combat styles, you can see that stab will train your attack XP, lunge will train strength XP, slash will train strength XP, and then block will train defense XP. So now I'm going to zoom out a little bit and I'm going to open this gate. It's time to slay some rats. To attack a rat, all you have to do is click on it. This will cause you to walk over and start hitting it. I'm going to go for this guy, just keeping it on stab. And my player will automatically attack the rat. Pass through the gate and talk to the combat instructor. He will give you your next task. Cross through the gate and talk to him again. You say, I did it. I killed the giant rat. He said, I saw. You seem to be better at this than I thought. Now that you've grasped the basic swordplay, let's move on. Next up, we have ranged combat. With this, you can kill foe from a distance. With range, you'll be able to attack the rats without entering the pit, meaning they won't be able to fight back. The combat instructor hands you a short bow and some bronze arrows. Before you can use the short bow and arrows, you need to equip them by clicking on them. Once equipped with the ranging gear, try killing another rat. You don't need to enter the pin this time. To attack the rat, just click on it. So I'm going to equip the short bow. And in my inventory now is the bronze sword and the wooden shield. And then I'm also going to click to wield the bronze arrows. If I go to my worn equipment, you can see that like the arrows don't necessarily go anywhere on your person. They just go into this arrow spot right here, which is, it's just out of your inventory. It saves you an inventory spot, so you don't have to worry about it. But I'm going to go up to the fence and I'm just going to click on one of the giant rats and start attacking. You've completed the tasks here. To move on, click on the indicated ladder. If you need to go through any more of what you just learned here, talk to the combat instructor and he will give you some more information. So out here I can see climb up ladder. I'm going to click on that. And now I am back above the ground. Looks like I need to click on this bank booth right here. So I'm just going to click on that and my player will automatically run over. This is the Bank of Gilnor where you can store all of your most valuable items. So it looks like they start me off with a whopping 25 GP. Thank you, Jagex. That will get me so far. This is your bank. You can store things here for safekeeping. To deposit something from your inventory, just click on it. You can withdraw things in the same way. To continue, close the bank and click on the indicated poll booth. So I'm going to close this right here. Here's the poll booth. Poll booths are found in towns across the world. The Old School RuneScape community is invited to vote on future game updates to decide whether each update should or shouldn't be released. Voting is open to members with a skill total of 300. To preserve the old school character of this game, an update must gain 70% support to be released. So, throughout this guide, we will not be voting on any new polls that come up since we will just be free to play and we won't have access to this. A flag appears on the booth to let you know when you're invited to vote in a poll. Polls are run periodically to let the Old School RuneScape community vote on how a game should or shouldn't change. When you're ready, move through the indicated door. So these are just examples of questions and if it should or should not be included. Next up, I'm going to walk through this door and talk to the account guide. He says, I'm the account guide. I'm here to tell you about your account. And then he says, your character is your account. It's what you are visiting to play the game right now. Everyone here has one, and some people even have multiple. There's various things you can do with your account, which is where the account management menu comes into play. Let's take a look now. So down right here, we have account management. This is your account manager where you can control various aspects of your account. Talk to the account guide to learn more. And he says, as you can see, there's a few things you can do with your account. First, you have membership. All accounts are free to play by default, but if you desire, you can buy membership to unlock members worlds. We'll give you access to extra skills, areas, quests, and more. You say, what's a world? A world is where you play the game on. Most worlds can hold up to 2,000 players, but they're split into two main types, free-to-play and members worlds. You can swap worlds within the world switcher in the logout menu. You're currently on a free world. If you want to switch to a members world and enjoy all of the benefits, you'll need to purchase a membership. You can do that using the store in the account management menu. Bonds are another thing that you should know about. You can purchase bonds from the store in the account management menu. Once you have some bonds, you can redeem them for membership. And then you say, but why would I use a bond instead of just buying membership normally? And he says, unlike membership, bonds can be traded with other players. You could purchase the bond and then sell it to another player for some gold. Alternatively, you could use your gold to buy a bond from another player. So if I use my gold to buy a bond from another player, I could get membership without spending any real money? Exactly. Next up, you have your inbox and name changer. The inbox is where you'll receive important information related to your account and the game. Be sure to keep an eye on it. The name changer allows you to change your display name if you don't like your current one. Be aware though, this is only available to accounts with membership. You say, awesome, is there anything else I should know about the accounts? He says, your account is very valuable and it's important to look after. Various tools can help with this, such as bank pins and two-factor authentication options. You'll find more information on account security on the customer support webpage. You can use the useful links in the account management menu to get there. Anyway, that's everything I have to tell you about accounts. Let me know if you need a recap. Otherwise, head on to your next instructor. Continue through the door. So I'm going to walk through this door. And now we're going to follow the path to the chapel. And then once there, we're going to speak to Brother Brace. And he says, hello, I'm here to tell you all about prayer. You're going to click on the flashing icon to open up the prayer menu. You're going to see all of these random little emoji things. You're going to talk to him and he will tell you about what they are. So this is your prayer list. Prayers can help a ton in combat. Click on the prayer you wish to use to activate it and then click it again to deactivate it. Active prayers will drain your prayer points, which you can recharge by finding an altar or other holy spot and praying there. As you noticed, most enemies will drop bones when defeated. Burying bones by clicking on them in your inventory will gain you prayer XP. That's all that I have to teach you for now. If you need a reminder about your prayers, speak to me again. Okay. So the prayer that you have unlocked at level 1 is called Thick Skin. It says it increases your defense by 5% and it will drain 1 point per 36 seconds. So if I click on it right here, well, I only have 1 prayer point. So you'll see this then go to, it'll drop to 0. Well, I just lost internet. That was fun. Anyway, so I kept that on and I ended up losing the 1 prayer point that I was just talking about. So to gain that prayer point back, I'm going to pray at this altar and you'll see it go back up to 1. Even when you are level 87 prayer, you can go back to the altar and pray at it and you will automatically regain all of your prayer points. So I just recharged my prayer points and now we're almost finished on Tutorial Island. I'm going to pass through the door to find the path leading to the final instructor. There we go. And follow the path to the wizard's house where you will be shown how to cast spells. When you get there, just talk to the magic instructor. So the path that they mentioned is kind of just like this dirt path right here. And it looks like, yeah, we're going this way. So we're going to take the left side and I'm going to talk to the magic instructor. He says, good day, newcomer. My name is Tarova. I'm here to tell you about magic. Let's start by opening your magic interface. So the magic interface is going to be to the right of the prayer box and the left of the friends list. You're going to click that. And it says, this is your magic interface. All of your spells can be found here. The list is currently filtered to only show you the spells you have the magic level for. You can change this in the filter menu. Talk to the instructor to continue. So it tells me I can home teleport, I can minigame teleport, and it's not highlighted, but if I had the runes to do so, I could cast level 1 Wind Strike, which I'm assuming the magic instructor will tell us more about very shortly. Talk to the magic instructor. He says, currently you can only cast 1 offensive spell called Wind Strike. Let's try it out on one of these chickens. The instructor will hand you some runes and I'm going to click on Wind Strike. And magic is also a skill that can be used from away, similar to range. So you don't have to be like next to and attacking the enemy to use it. So you're just going to click on Wind Strike. Oh, and there you go. Congratulations, you have passed Tutorial Island. So you got 1 quest point. And now you go to the mainland. So you're going to talk to the instructor. He says, well, you're all finished here now. I'll give you a reasonable number of runes when you leave. Now, if you're wanting to stay on a normal account, that is all that you have to do. You can click this yes, and then you will be teleported to the mainland. If you are wanting an extra level of difficulty on your account, you can select an Iron Man, which basically means that you have to source everything yourself. You cannot use the GE. You can use general stores that have just like very general items, but you cannot buy or purchase any items. You cannot trade any players. You can be I believe you can be an Iron Man on free-to-play accounts just as well as you could on a membership paid account. But if you decide to select that kind of account, that's not necessarily what this guide here is going to be covering. So it'll just be a general account for the most part. But yeah, if you do want the extra level of difficulty, that is always an option. You could look at some other YouTube videos to kind of get a little bit better of an understanding of what to expect if you were to get that type of account. So as I talk to the magic instructor, I am gonna go to the mainland. And he's gonna ask me, do you want to go to the mainland, or would you like to talk to the Ironman tutor first to learn about becoming an Ironman? And I'm going to say, yes, I'd like to go to the mainland just because this is not going to be an Ironman account. So we're just going to do everything normally. So I'm clicking yes, go to the mainland. He says, when you get to the mainland, you'll find yourself in the town of Lumbridge. If you want some ideas on where to go next, talk to my friend, Adventurer John. You can't miss him. He's wearing light blue armor with a huge sword. There's also many tutors willing to teach you about many skills you could learn. When you get to Lumbridge, look for Adventurer John. Okay. Excellent. I think that covers everything. When you're ready to go, use your home teleport spell to teleport to Lumbridge. Perfect. Okay. So in the magic tab down here, we're going to cast the Lumbridge home teleport, and you'll see your character kind of do this like circle thing. That's good. That means you are teleporting to home base. You're teleporting to the main city in Lumbridge in RuneScape. Welcome. We are here. That's going to be it for this first video. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you were able to get through Tutorial Island successfully with me. Stay tuned for day 1 of understanding more about RuneScape. We're going to do some more skilling. We're going to do some questing, kind of just things that'll help us level our account on an early game status. So be sure to subscribe, drop a like, and comment what you're most excited for about your new RuneScape account. Bye!